everyone, welcome to the Rachel Cruze Show. Okay, we're gonna dive into one of my favorite parts when it comes to talking about money, and that is the budget. Yes, I love budgeting. And I couldn't always say that. Back in the day, I hated it because I'm a spender, I'm a free spirit, I didn't like it. But now that I've been doing it for a long time, you guys, I have learned to love budgeting. I really do. For me as a spender, I always say it's like permission to spend. It gives me the ability to spend money without questioning it or guilt or shame. And it feels good because I'm like, okay, I have control over my money and I work hard. I come to work and make money and I'm like, I want my money to go as far as possible. I don't want to just look up every tax season and be like, I made how much this year and where did it all go? I don't want to live like that. I want to be in control. And so budgeting is the thing that has helped me so much. So how can it help you? Well, what it is it's an action plan and a clear picture month to month of where your money is going. It helps you achieve your goals that you want. It helps you, again, spending without guilt. It just gives you a plan and lots of communication around what is going on with your money. So let's dive into 15 budgeting tips for your daily life. It's gonna be a lot, but I can't wait because this is gonna be so helpful for those of you that are like, ugh, about budgeting, or some of you that have tried and you're like, it's just not working. So the very first tip is that I want you to create a budget to zero before the month begins, which is called a zero-based budget. So before the month begins, look at the next coming month and figure out, okay, how much money am I gonna make coming up? And if you're on salary, obviously this is really easy. If your income is inconsistent, it might be a little bit tougher, but just kind of figure out on average, okay, this is what we're gonna make. And you're gonna list out all of your expenses, including giving and saving, and your goal is your income for the month minus everything that you plan to do with money equals zero. So every dollar has a name. The second thing you want to do is you want to budget together. So this is true especially if you're married. You want to be on the same page with your spouse. When you do this, you guys, you eliminate so many money fights, money arguments, disagreements, because here's the plan. Like, you've agreed before the month begins, this is what we're gonna do. So you know what's going on. The communication there is already clear. I mean, it is so huge. So not only on the money side, but also as a couple, when you talk about money, you talk about more than just money. You really do. You talk about your life, you talk about your dreams, you talk about what's coming up in your calendar, you talk about your fears, you just end up talking about a lot. So the unity that's created, even by just doing a budget together every month, is massive. Now, if you're single, I would say find someone in your life that you feel comfortable, which again, will kind of take a unique friend, but someone that you feel comfortable sharing numbers with. Because you're like, hey, here's the deal. Here's kind of what's going on. Here are some of my goals that I have. And just to help someone else, be in it with you is very helpful. All right, the third thing to do when it comes to your budgets is you want to budget every single month, because every single month is different. So you're not going to just do a budget and say, here's my budget every single month for the whole year. You need to look every month. And that means even pulling out your calendar to see, okay, what's going on? Are there birthday parties? Are we going on vacation? Is it back to school season and we're gonna have to spend money, on that? Are we going on vacation? What is going on? And then you're gonna be able to say, okay, we need to add some categories in this month's budget because of things happening. Call me a nerd, but this is one of my favorite parts of this because I love getting last month's budget. If you use every dollar or budgeting app, you know this, it just duplicates your budget from the current month to the next month. So then you have to go in and kind of change stuff. And I like last month, I know for us, it was just like car repairs. My blinker went out. We had to do something with the oil, the tire. I mean, it was just like car stuff. So we had to add an extra little line item in there and pull money from savings and have it in there. But when I did my budget and we did the budget for this month, I was like, oh my gosh, you can swipe right and delete that category. And that means that much more money is left to budget. It's just so exciting. I love it. I love going month to month. I think it's so fun. It's so fun. So if you haven't tried it, you need to check it out. See if you have as much fun as I do. Okay, the fourth tip when it comes to budgeting is start with the most important categories first. So here at Ramsey Solutions, we always teach to give first. Giving needs to be part of your financial plan, whether you are living paycheck to paycheck, whether you are a billionaire. I don't care where you are. you want to be giving. And I always tell people, give a little until you can give a lot. But there is something to be said when you give, how it changes you. And the whole lie that if I just had more money, I would give. I'm telling you, the more I've done this, the more I realize this issue, it's more about a heart issue than a math issue. And so being able to say, hey, where are places that maybe I can cut some back to be able to give something? So I would challenge you with this. This is why I say it's always the first category in your budget is giving. Be giving something. Number 2, I would say is saving. If there's something you're saving for, especially if you're on baby step 1 and you're saving up your $1,000, even baby step 3 in your emergency fund, have saving in there as well. And then you want to do what's called your 4 walls, which is food, shelter, utilities, and transportation. These are the 4 things that you absolutely have to have in your budget to survive, right? I don't want you getting behind on rent or your mortgage. I want you to have money for food. So everything else, okay? That means anything else. Anything else means cable. Anything else means subscriptions. Anything else means debt. Anything else is off to the side. But those are the most important things, no matter who you are, that you want to take care of first. And then from there, you're going to prioritize and say, okay, what else is left? What do we have that we have to pay on? What is the cell phone or the cable or the debt that we have to pay every month? Then you can kind of prioritize under that. Number 5, you want to help with your budget to pay off your debt. So this is going to be a big priority. If you have already saved up your $1,000 on baby step 1, your next priority is to pay off your debt. So if there's anything in your budget that you can cut out, like out to eat, maybe shopping, clothes for the month, you can cut out anything that you see, okay, I can cut this out of my budget to put any amount of money out of the budget, take it out and throw it at the debt so I can pay off my debt as fast as possible. Number 6, don't be afraid to trim the budget. So just like what I was saying, do it, you guys. The budget is gonna give you power. You're gonna be able to see, here's what I spend money on. And maybe you have a little bit of a discipline moment where you say, okay, I don't need to spend this much on out to eat. I don't need to spend this much on shopping. I don't need to spend this much on entertainment or whatever it is. And there are places there that you can cut out and trim your budget. And again, some of this will be temporary. You don't have to trim your budget for the rest of your life. It's really gonna be for the times that you're saving up for your emergency fund and you're getting out of debt. Number 7, make a schedule. So this is gonna be helpful to know exactly when bills are due, especially if you set up auto drafts and money is pulled out of your checking account to pay the bills. You know exactly when the money is gonna be out, because this is gonna be helpful if you're paid weekly, bi-weekly, or even twice a month. You're able to set up to know when your income's coming in and what bills are due. Number 8, track your progress. So have goals and say, hey, we wanna be able to save X amount, or we wanna pay off X amount of debt. Have some goals out there. And when you make some small wins, even if it's like, my goal is to save $100, I just need to put $100 away this month. I mean, anything like that, you guys, that is a win because you have set a goal and you've accomplished it. So celebrate those small wins. Number 9, create a miscellaneous category. So because this is a zero-based budget, again, we've already planned out where every dollar is going. If something unexpected comes in and you're like, oh, I was not expecting that $200 charge or $400 charge or $20 charge, whatever it is, and you're like, and you don't really have a place to put it, have a miscellaneous category. So stuff can go in there. You can dip out of your emergency fund if you need to, if it's an absolute emergency. But hopefully that miscellaneous category, again, on your daily spending, will be able to catch the things that you forget about. Now, if you look back over the few months and see, okay, the same things keep falling in the miscellaneous category, then create a line item for it because you know what's happening. So just say, hey, here's the line item for that thing that keeps coming up that wasn't miscellaneous, but now we're actually gonna make it a line item. Number 10, cut up your credit cards. Use a debit card. Guys, we can get into this rant real fast and I won't go deep in this hole, but it's amazing how much not only do you spend on a credit card, but when you carry over your balance and you're paying interest, if you're missing payments and it's late fees, how much money you're spending on extra versus saying, hey, I'm just gonna spend the money I have in my account and use a debit card. Number 11, use cash for the categories that you tend to overspend on. So people are like, this is kind of an old school way of looking at it, but this is very helpful. Even if it's 1 or 2 categories and you tend to overspend, cash it out. And I have the Rachel Cruze wallets that has this whole system built in, the envelope system, because it is helpful. It helps you stay accountable. It helps you to know how much is in there. And it really does, especially if you're early on in budgeting, it's gonna help you through this process, because also visually, when the money's gone, it's gone. Like, you're done spending, and it's gonna help you stay accountable. And again, the Rachel Cruze wallet is a great tool to help with this. It has 4 interior envelopes for different categories. It has 10 slots for debit cards or gift cards. There's a place to put your change, your coins and stuff. It's genuine leather. It's soft. It's beautiful. It comes in 3 different options of colors. I love it so much, and I hope you guys too. And we partnered with Join, which is an incredible organization out of India that gives fair trade jobs to people in vulnerable communities. And it takes people off these terrible situations, out of these terrible situations, and gives them skills to be able to work and make money. They're incredible, and I am obsessed with the wallet. So I'll link it in the show notes and you can check it out. All right, number 12. If you don't like using paper with your budget, like Excel even, or a yellow pad, then do it online. I mentioned EveryDollar earlier, but it is the best budgeting tool out there. You're able to sync it up with your checking account on EveryDollar Plus. You're able to have a login information, and your spouse can have it too, so that they have the app on their phone. And if you change stuff, it changes on both. You're able to talk about it. It's so helpful. All right, number 13, quit the comparisons. This will help you keep your budget goals intact, because it is easy to look at what everyone else has, and when you do that, you tend to overspend and bust the budget. So put the blinders on, look at your life, your budget, your goals, which again is number 14. Set some goals. You want to be able, again, no matter where you are, I don't care if you're on baby step 7 or you're baby step 1, you want to have goals out there. This is what's going to keep you motivated, and your why, to know why are you doing this. Have it out there. Again, celebrate the wins, but it'll help you stay motivated. And last but not least, number 15, give yourself some grace, okay? It's not gonna be perfect all the time. There's gonna be some months, oh man, it just didn't work, and you're having to change stuff every other day. It feels like shifting categories, all of it, and get frustrating, but I'm telling you, stick with it. Those first few months are the hardest. I mean, the first 90 days, you guys, it's gonna be hard, I'm telling you, but push through, because once you get in the rhythm of it, and you start actually winning with your money, and you're going down the baby steps, and you're getting out of debt, and you're doing all this, I'm telling you, it starts to happen. It starts to become more and more natural. Now, some of the places that is tough when it comes to budgeting is if you have an inconsistent income. So if you do have an inconsistent income, like you freelance, or maybe you're all on commission, I would say budget on the lowest earning month that you can think of, and say, okay, here's at the lowest what I'm probably gonna make. And then you wanna list out your stuff in order. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but remember, it's giving, it's saving, it's your 4 walls, and then anything else underneath you're gonna prioritize, because as the money comes in, you want those top ones filled in first, and then what doesn't get to the bottom, maybe that month, it's not there. But then if you have a great month the next month, maybe the money flows all the way down, but you want to be able to prioritize. Okay, so some of you are thinking maybe, okay, so how do I make a budget? Well, one of the easiest ways is to download EveryDollar. It's gonna help you so much. Again, there's a free version out there, and it makes budgeting, it makes tracking your expenses, all of it so easy. So go to ramseysolutions.com/EveryDollar. And what you're gonna do are a couple of steps within it. So step 1 is list your income for the month. Again, think of your paycheck. If you are gonna have a garage sale, freelance job, side hustle, any money that's coming in, you list it as your income. Step 2 is listing your expenses. We talked about this. It's your giving, your saving, your 4 walls, like food, shelter, utilities, and transportation. And then you're gonna list out all of your other monthly expenses. So again, debt, insurance, entertainment, clothes, anything else underneath. And then the third step is subtract your income minus your expenses to equal 0. And that is a 0-based budget. Now, if you have more money left over and you said, oh, well, I have more income coming in than I have allotted, then take that extra money and put it to whatever baby step you're on. So if you're saving up for your emergency fund or paying off debt, put it there. Or if you're on baby steps 4, 5, 6, and 7, and you're like, hey, we kind of do want to up our lifestyle a little bit, you can do that too. If you're in the negative and you say, okay, I have too much in the expenses side and not enough income, you can either up your income if you get a side hustle, or you have to lower your expenses. You have to be able to cut back and say, how do I live within my means? My dad has said for years to act your wage, right? Behind what you make and live on it. Live on less than you make. This is a key part to winning with money. And then the last step is track your transactions. This is the best way when it comes to winning with your budget overall, that you know exactly where the money's going. So if you go to the grocery store and in every dollar, a little bubble will pop up and show how much you spent there, and you can drag that little bubble up to groceries, and every dollar does all the math for you, which is awesome. But you keep track of what is going on so that you're not overspending. It helps you stay in line. Now remember, with a budget, it is not to limit your freedom. A budget is to give you freedom. Really, a budget is the thing that is gonna help you stay in the boundaries of your income, know what's going on, and you have a plan. I think one of the biggest mistakes people make with their money is that they're not intentional. They just kind of live month to month and buy whatever and keep going, and there's no plan. There's no plan. So a budget is gonna help you stay on track. So I hope you guys check out Every Dollar. I hope you check out the Rachel Cruze wallet, because all these tools are here to help you win with your budget and ultimately take control of your money and create a life you love.